Tax increase. We'll tell you that's what City County Council Democrats are calling parts of the mayor's budget proposal. How his plan could cost you even more money.
Also, new hope for illegal immigrants. Starting today, thousands of people can apply to stay and work in the country. What that means to all Hoosiers. And harsh reminder. While students at IU Bloomington are excited to move into the dorm rooms today, one family still holds on to hope for their lost student. We'll have the latest on the investigation into the Spier disappearance.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock starts now.
Property tax bills could be rising in Marion County. Good evening, I'm John Spier.
And I'm Andrea Moorhead. As part of his 2013 city-county budget, Mayor Greg Ballard wants now to eliminate the local homestead property tax credit. In fact, nearly 140,000 homeowners benefit from that credit alone. Now, some city-county councilors call this move by the mayor a tax increase. Our City Beat reporter Mary Mills tonight explains how much it will cost you if that credit is eliminated. Mary?
Andrea, first of all, if you own a home like this, we are not talking about the big homestead deduction you get. This is a tax credit adopted by the City County Council years ago. Learn two things about it today. First of all, it's very complicated. And secondly, a lot of homeowners are confused and concerned about possibly having to pay more.
I do not understand it, no. Not entirely.
Are you worried about it?
Somewhat, yes.
Sandy Price and Alice Smith have been trying to make sense of the mayor's plans to eliminate the homestead tax credit since he unveiled his budget Monday.
I'd like to read more about it. I'd like the mayor to explain it a little bit more.
The two women, both semi-retired, suspect it means they'll have to dig deeper to pay their property taxes.
It's not something you would want. You really don't want to do it.
The mayor's office says getting rid of the credit would affect about 139,000 homeowners who'd pay on average $24 more each year in taxes. But that's based on a home assessed at well under $100,000.
There has to be some other ways.
Without the credit, Charlotte and David Cahill would pay an extra $107 a year. And that's tougher if you're retired and on a fixed income.
Oh yeah, we just have to, cut down on something. Sometimes it hits our food budget.
And no matter what the mayor says, people like the Cahills say eliminating that credit is a tax hike.
Well, somebody's going to have to pay for it. Who's it going to be? The homeowners? All taxpayers?
Jim LeGrand agrees it would be a tax hike. For him, an extra $146 a year. But he has no problem with that, especially when he sees improvements underway in his North Side neighborhood.
This whole stuff about not increasing our taxes, well, how in the hell are we going to take care of infrastructure, I'm sorry for saying that, if we don't increase our taxes to maintain the infrastructure?
And if you are wondering what your tax credit is, the easiest thing to do is to find your property tax bill. Go to line 4A right here where it says minus local property tax credits. You'll see in 2011, this homeowner had a $134 credit, $111 in 2012. And again, what happens here is all subject to that final budget vote. Live on the city's north side, Mary Mills, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Indiana home sales were up 14% in July compared to the same period last year. FC Tucker says Marion County home sales spiked 48% during the month. Morgan and Marion counties also saw double-digit increases. On the other hand, though, home sales dropped 20% in Hancock County during July. Year-to-date sales prices went up 2.5% in central Indiana. And new information now on that child hit by a pickup truck at the Indiana State Fair. The fair tells us a 4-year-old child from Michigan was hit by a truck this afternoon just inside the fence line on State Fair property. We've just learned the 4-year-old is now in serious condition at the hospital. Police say the child broke away from her mother and ran into the path of the truck. Both the driver of the truck and the girl's parents work at the fairgrounds midway.
A very important health alert for you tonight. The West Nile virus has killed one person in Vandenberg County. The State Department of Health would not release any details about the victim. Now, there have been 7 confirmed cases of the mosquito-borne virus in 6 counties, including Fulton, Hamilton, Jackson, Monroe, and here in Marion County. Now, there's no vaccine or even a cure for that disease. Some of the symptoms of West Nile can feel similar to the flu. They include headache, high fever, neck stiffness, disorientation, convulsions, as well as muscle weakness. A funeral is now planned for former Pacers player who died saving his own wife from drowning off of the coast of Aruba. NBA veteran Dan Roundfield spent 11 years in the NBA. Roundfield was a 6'8" center who started his pro career at Indiana, and then he played at Atlanta, Detroit, and Washington. He drowned August 6th in the rough waters, but his wife survived. Roundfield was 59 years old. His funeral will be at 10 a.m. on Friday in Norcross, Georgia. That service is open to the entire public. An Indiana soldier gets a hero's welcome as he arrived home today with his mother and at his side. U.S. Army Private First Class Jared Yarger flew into South Bend Regional Airport yesterday. In Afghanistan back in June, Yarger took shrapnel to his forehead after a bomb went off. He had surgery in Germany for traumatic brain injury. Yarger is only 20 years old, and he also received a Purple Heart. Police cars and about 7 motorcyclists escorted the family back to their Millersburg home.
As students move into the dormitories at Indiana University, it reminded us of one student in particular who will not be starting classes next Monday. Lauren Spier vanished without a trace more than a year ago, and investigators have not made much headway in the investigation. Lauren's family members created and maintain a website where people can funnel information, and they are offering a $250,000 reward for information that leads to finding their daughter. Now here's a look back at the past year. Lauren Spier was last seen in the early morning hours of June 3rd, 2011 at 11th and College Avenue in Bloomington. In the days and weeks that followed, hundreds of IU students and volunteers took part in searches across the area for Lauren. From August 16th through the 26th, investigators also searched the Sycamore Ridge landfill. In an interview in April of this year, Lauren's parents said they try to be realistic about the situation, but there is always hope their daughter will be found. As of today, the Bloomington Police Department, Indiana University Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, and Indiana State Police, along with the FBI, have all searched at one time or another for Spier. Authorities say they do not know who is responsible for her disappearance.
I'm meteorologist Chicago Windler. Right now, nothing showing up on SkyTrack 13 right now for Doppler 13 radar. That could be changing, though. Tomorrow, we're going to be tracking the threat of severe storms coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
Also tonight, undocumented immigrants can now stay here in the country and even work for 2 years without fear of being deported. We'll tell you who benefits from the new rule and how you can apply.
Also, the RV business took a hit along with the nation's economy, but Americans are hitting the road again, and Indiana will benefit. We'll explain how coming up. And breaking news now, a deal that would have let 2 companies off the hook for last year's stage collapse at the Indiana State Fair has failed. Just moments ago, Mid-America Sound announced that not enough of the victims agreed to accept their multi-million-dollar offer to drop claims against the company. Mid-America Sound says not enough of the victims' families with the largest claims agreed to accept the $7.2 million offer, which would have stopped them from filing a lawsuit.
Well, some good news tonight for undocumented immigrants. The Deferred Action Program goes into effect today. Now, that means nearly 2 million young people living here in the U.S. illegally since they were children can now start applying for deferred deportation. That program allows them to go to college or even receive a work permit, but only for 2 years.
This is not a path to citizenship. It's not a permanent fix. This is a temporary stopgap measure that lets us focus our resources wisely while giving a degree of relief and hope to talented, driven, patriotic young people.
Now, people younger than 30 who arrived here in the U.S. before the age of 16 pose no criminal or security threat and were successful students or even served in the military can apply for that program. The applicants must prove they've been living here in the U.S. continuously for at least 5 years. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Nicole Pence, who explains how this program will affect all Hoosiers.
With his folders in his hand outside the Mexican consulate, 20-year-old Renee Brisano has been anxious for today.
Trying to have a good life here.
Renee is one of 45,000 undocumented immigrants living right here in Indiana. He says he's called the Hoosier State home since he was 7. But until he finishes the paperwork for the Deferred Action Program, the 20-year-old aspiring chef can't afford college.
I was trying to apply for scholarships, and I really couldn't get any because of my status as an illegal alien in the USA. So with this, it would just help me more. It would just help me achieve my goal, which is getting into college.
Just like Renee, Jennifer Corbos Diaz is ready for the Obama administration's help. Jennifer says she needs her birth certificate from Mexico to arrive, but once it does, she will save money on her tourism degree.
I'll be able to have to pay less money instead of having to pay out-of-state tuition.
Gina Platten with the Indiana Latino Institute says the Deferred Action Program isn't just important for the thousands of undocumented immigrants in Indiana. It's also important for you, the taxpayer, as these immigrants are able to legally work and buy auto insurance policies.
This is going to, give them the opportunity to being able to get insurance, auto insurance. So this is going to increase also those insurance policies, and being able to help with our community, to just have more taxable incomes.
Of course, each young person who wants to apply for this program has to come to their respective consulate. As all of that paperwork begins to flood through the Department of Homeland Security, it will be interesting to look at to see if it can be processed. Reporting downtown, Nicole Pence, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
And you can find those forms on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. There's a $465 application fee. Now on Saturday, there's a free clinic that will answer any and all of your questions. We have a link on our website. Just go to WTHR.com and click on Hot Topics.
Indiana's RV industry is about to get bigger, bringing more jobs to northern Indiana. Crossroads RV plans to build a new 22,000 square foot headquarters. It'll be built next to the factory in Topeka, Indiana. That's in LaGrange County. The company announced last year it would spend $3.9 million to build in Topeka, and that could lead to hiring 250 new workers by 2014.
It's good to know that that industry is coming back. We're a huge supplier of those types of vehicles.
Absolutely. A day like today, it's a great day to travel around, go just about anywhere. Right?
I would do that. Grab a camper, just go hang out.
Yeah. Today has been absolutely gorgeous. Most of tomorrow will be gorgeous as well. Tomorrow night,
things will change.
We'll say thumbs up for rain chances, thumbs down for severe weather threat, which unfortunately is going to be with us by this time tomorrow. Right now, live Doppler 13 radar is clear across the entire state of Indiana. It has been a stunner of a day, made it up to 86 degrees and to the state fair, and also MotoGP weekend looking great in the middle 70s.
All right, thank you so much, Chicago. Weather-wise, again, another great day to be outside, of course, if you're going to be,
That's right.
up in Anderson at camp.
And some guys trying to make the team with the Indianapolis Colts as they get ready to wrap up camp. Let's go to Rich Nye, the sports guy, who's in Anderson tonight. Rich?
Good evening. Training camp quickly coming to an end. Just 2 days of practice left. Weather permitting, as Chicago was talking about, we hope to have a practice here tomorrow night at 6:30, and then a Friday morning practice, and camp is over. Now, Colts veteran defensive end Corey Redding came back to practice this week after missing a few days with an elbow injury before he even plays a game. Why is Broad Ripple's Rod Patterson out of Bloomington? That's next.
Tonight at 11 on The Night Beat.
I'm David McAnally. You're hearing all about the bad corn crop, but how badly is that affecting the price we pay at the gas pump? We'll tell you tonight on The Night Beat.
And also at 11 o'clock tonight, more repairs are being made to Georgia Street in downtown Indy. You may remember the site of Super Bowl Village this past February. And also tonight, we're going to closely follow the West Nile virus story throughout the evening. Tonight, we'll tell you who's most acceptable and the steps that people are taking to avoid mosquitoes. Those stories and more new tonight at 11 right here only on Channel 13 for The Night Beat. We'll see you tonight.